Hello and welcome to this first video in the energy topic, and this is energy transfer. So let's see what this is all about, shall we? Well, this is our different forms of energy. Now, energy can be stored in 7 different ways. There are 7 different energy stores. Now we need to know these ways, and we need to be able to give good examples of each, and that's what this video is all about. Let's look first of all at the 7 different types. Wow, a bit of a list here, isn't it? Some long words need to learn, but as we use them more and more, we'll get used to them. The first one is what we call gravitational potential energy, and I'll be explaining what that is in just a moment. Next one's chemical energy. Then we've got kinetic, or what we call movement energy, elastic potential energy, magnetic energy, electrostatic energy, and thermal or heat energy. I need to say at this point that different textbooks give sometimes different lists. So in some textbooks, rather than being 7, they may find 8. So don't be surprised if you look at other textbooks and the list perhaps isn't quite the same as this. But this is the one we're using, and we're looking at all these different energy stores. Let's start first of all with gravitational potential energy. A bit of a mouthful. You could always abbreviate it to GPE if you want to, but its proper name is gravitational potential energy, and this depends upon the height. So this is the energy given by the height of an object. So an object moves higher, it gains gravitational potential energy. Now look at this fantastic ski lift here. Now, if you've got a ski jumper right at the very, very top here, so here a ski jumper has lots of gravitational energy. Why? Because they are higher up. The higher up they go, the more gravitational potential energy they gain. And here, lower down the slope, as they're about to launch themselves, very bravely if I must say, here a ski jumper has much less gravitational potential energy. So it depends on a number of factors. And here are the factors. So the amount of gravitational energy gained depends upon the mass of an object, okay, the height of an object, and the gravitational field strength. This is how much gravity there is. So this will differ according to whether you're on Earth or the Moon or Jupiter. That would affect the gravitational field strength. But it's also the GPE store, the gravitational potential energy store, is also affected by the mass of an object, how heavy the object is, and the height at which it's coming from. Okay, that's gravitational potential energy store. Next one is chemical energy. Now this is the energy that can be released from any chemical reaction. So food, food. Food contains chemical energy. Now when you consume the food and it gets into your cells, respiration takes place, and that releases the chemical energy in our cells. Another example is when you fill up your car with petrol or diesel. Okay, so petrol and diesel contains chemical energy that when your car is running, it gets burnt in the engine and the chemical energy is released. Another example is batteries. Batteries contain chemical energy. When you're using them, for example in your torch, the chemical energy in the battery is being converted into electricity. So that's our chemical energy store. Now this one is kinetic or movement energy store. So anything that's moving, all moving objects like this train here, anything that's moving has kinetic energy. Now the bigger an object and the faster it's moving, the more kinetic energy it has. Here we've got 2 examples. So we've got a bus, on the left is a bus, on the right a little car. Now obviously the bus has much more mass than the car, so if these two are travelling at the same speed, so they're both travelling at 40 kilometers an hour, the bus will have more kinetic energy because it is bigger, it's a bigger object than the car. Everything that's moving has kinetic energy. Even very large objects like the Earth moving around the Sun, that has kinetic energy. And here we've got atoms. Atoms have kinetic energy. Electrons are whizzing around in orbits. So anything that is moving has kinetic, or what we call a movement energy store. Another one is elastic potential energy. So when we stretch anything, like this guy here is stretching these bands, when we stretch anything, at this point here, when it's stretched, it has gained elastic potential energy. So when you stretch something, it contains elastic potential energy. More examples? Well, a spring. We said stretch, but you can also compress, can't you? If you compress a spring, it's got elastic potential energy. If you are keen on catapults, there's a catapult here, as you pull it back, it gains elastic potential energy. And this thing here is called a trebuchet. Trebuchet was a weapon of war used in the Middle Ages, and that depended on a spring, and as you release the spring, so this heavy rock here will be flung at the enemy. So all these objects here contain elastic potential energy. Next we've got magnets. So magnets attract or repel each other, have magnetic energy. You should know here that when two north poles come towards each other, they will push each other apart. They've got magnetic energy store. So magnets can exert forces on other magnetized objects or on magnetic materials. Okay, so that's the magnetic energy store. Electrostatic energy. Charged objects will have electrostatic energy, like these balloons. You know, you've already done this. If you rub balloons on your jumper, they gain electrostatic energy, and they will attract each other or push each other away. You can stick them to the wall, have lots of fun with them, can't you, as well? So, any two electric charges will attract or repel depending on their charge. So positive and negative, they will attract. Positive will repel. Negative will repel. And then we've got thermal energy. Now thermal energy is also known as heat energy, and in many ways it's probably the simplest to understand. Okay, here we've got a burning lighter. Basically, the hotter an object is, so this burner here, the higher its temperature and the more thermal or heat energy it has. So the hotter an object is, the higher its temperature, the more thermal energy it has. So, did you get all those? All those 7 energy stores. And there's just a couple of definitions you have to write down into your vocab sheet. So we've got kinetic energy is energy that moving objects have, and internal energy is the energy stored in all materials. So that can be due to particle motion, chemical bonds, whatever. So try now to remember all the 7 stores of energy. Well, that's the end of this Key Stage 3 science video. Thanks ever so much for watching. I really do hope you like what you see, and if you do like what you see, why not visit my website at www.keystage3sciencecourses.com. There you'll find over 120 science videos you can subscribe to. So once again, thanks for watching, and bye bye for now.